So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Total Extreme Wrestling. Today, we will be on our way to Breakdown. 4 weeks away from Breakdown. We're coming off the Summerslam pay-per-view. So, we had the Summerslam pay-per-view. We had a 93 rated show. We had The Undertaker and Steve Austin for the world title for a 94 rated matchup. You know, it could have been a little bit better, perhaps, but you'll take it. The Undertaker won the World Championship. In the end, Vince McMahon was celebrating with Undertaker. He was so happy that he finally derailed Austin. We also had the Acolytes. They kind of made their debut. They defeated the Dudley Boys. Chains of Vader, they won the tag titles from the New Age Outlaws. The Rock beat Triple H for the IC title. That match bombed. So annoyed. That was probably the biggest downfall of this pay-per-view. This match, I was really looking forward to it being awesome, and it bombed. So you know I'm gonna redeem myself. Next pay-per-view, we gotta redeem ourselves. We gotta have a really good title match there. But we also teased potentially Shawn Michaels and The Rock in the future. So that's something we might save for down the line. Val Venus, he beat Marc Mero one-on-one. Marc Mero started to really improve. We changed his gimmick and things are starting to really work out better for him. Mark Henry won the European Championship from Goldust. Aja Kong became the first ever women's champion here in the save. She defeated Ivory to do it. And Kane defeated Shamrock and Owen Hart in a triple threat match. Legion of Doom defeated Too Much, and the British Brawlers beat Edge and Christian on the pre-show as well. So 93 overall show. Heat before that was 64 as well. So, and we also had Takumi Chinoku beat Pillman, Jannetty, and Chris Daniels to retain the lightweight championship there. 44,000 attendance, big event in the end. Big buy rate, nearly 900,000 buys. And you can see our finance really on the rise. You know, around the low 1 million mark for a while there, into the mid 1 millions now, 2.7 million. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. Okay, so with today's stream, we are going to form 2 new stables. Now, 3 if you want to count the Brood. We already had Edge and Christian on the main roster. We hadn't, I don't think we've officially debuted them yet, but we were waiting for Gangrel just to finish up his time in developmental. Just wanted to give him another month or 2, whatever it was, to improve his stats as much as I could. So now he's ready to go. So he'll manage Edge and Christian and also wrestle himself, of course. But the other 2 groups, the Ministry of Darkness. So here's what we've got so far. So the Ministry of Darkness, obviously the Acolytes. I'm going to put Kane in there with the Undertaker. So I know that didn't happen in real life, but I always felt as though Kane, Undertaker together was just an awesome force that we never really saw a lot of in the Attitude Era. And in the Ministry of Darkness, I feel like that would be a perfect combination. Vampiro, that dark character that he's got, I feel like could be a good addition, and he's going to be like our lower guy in the group that we're going to build up and hopefully make a star out of the Ministry. And I also called Viscera back up. I felt like we just needed another big guy in the group. And Viscera, of course, was in the Ministry of Darkness. Midian was the other guy who was in it as well. I'm not going to put Midian in. I have no interest in him at all. But Viscera will put in, and he could just be like a big enforcer for the group. Probably will take some losses for the group as well. But, you know, he could be a big force with his size. The Corporation is the other group. Now, here's what we have so far. We don't really have a full set of wrestlers in the group just yet. But we have Hulk Hogan, obviously, who won't be available until around Survivor Series time. But he's doing a movie. Hulk Hogan, he's going to be the ultimate star of the group. So he's going to be Vince McMahon's guy. Now, I know The Rock was Vince McMahon's guy. Well, in this circumstance, it's going to be Hulk Hogan. Ken Shamrock, we just turned him heel. I feel like he would be a good addition. Obviously, he was in it as well in real life. Shane McMahon, we had him in developmental, but I figured he's not doing anything down there. We might as well bring him up. Ted DiBiase, so what the storyline will be with Ted is he's going to be the new investor of the World Wrestling Federation, so he'll get some stroke that way, and he'll join up there, of course, with Vince McMahon. So obviously, you can tell that we've only got Shamrock at the moment as the only active wrestler, so we probably need to add maybe a tag team, maybe another couple low guys. I was very, very tempted to put Kurt Angle in the Corporation, but a few people talked me out of it. I think I'm going to have Kurt Angle as the babyface and kind of oppose the corporation, and potentially I really think a Shamrock and Kurt Angle feud would be sensational. So just technically that would be a tremendous match. So that's something that I'd like to build towards in the future. So let me know what you think. That's what we've got so far. Any more additions? I was contemplating turning Animal and Hawk heel and putting them in. I was going to do it, but I decided against it. Just because we've got a lot of top heel tag teams already. As got the New Age Outlaws, of course. We've got the Acolytes. We do have Chains and Vader as well. They're a face team, so that's good. But if we turn Animal and Hawk, I think it would be too lopsided towards the heel side things. I was going to turn Animal and Hawk because the New Age Outlaws have beaten them, and I felt like they were running out of opponents, but I realized that we haven't done the Legion of Doom versus the Acolytes yet, so I figured I could do that feud at least before I do the turn. With Kurt Angle, we've got him at 58 popularity, so Kurt Angle is already very good. Starts off with a lot of popularity to begin with. He could already be an upper mid-carder, but the thing about Kurt is his stats are just ridiculous. Look at these technical stats: 83, 88, 84, 81 basics. The only thing he needs work on is his psychology, and you could probably add a few more points towards selling, and you'd be pretty happy towards that too. So his athleticism is 100 stamina. I think they've overrated Kurt Angle, to be fair, but I mean, tell you what, he's a star already. Yeah, off the bat, he's a star already. He's just debuted. 77 charisma, 71 mic skills, that's good enough. You can work with that, and you know that's going to improve. You just know that's going to get better with more mic time. So, Kurt Angle, I tell you what, 6 months' time, Kurt Angle could be Intercontinental Champion. I really believe that. I think Kurt Angle versus Ken Shamrock, as I said, would be great. Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett. Kurt Angle, you could move him up the card and go Kurt Angle, Triple H, Kurt Angle, so many matchups you could do, which would be fantastic. But the one we're going to start with is a little different. Kurt Angle and Jerry Lawler. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Jerry Lawler introduce Kurt Angle to the crowd, probably on Raw this week. And, hey, the WWF, they've signed Kurt Angle. He's an Olympic Gold Medalist. Welcome Kurt Angle to the WWF. Then Jerry Lawler's going to talk a bit of trash about him. You say, oh, you're Olympian, but this is the WWF. What makes you think you're going to come here and be successful? And things like that. And Kurt Angle's going to get pissed off about it and start there. So I think Kurt Angle and Jerry Lawler, I know what you're thinking, really, Jerry Lawler, but what we could do, Jerry Lawler 77 pop, he could take a loss to Kurt Angle, maybe drive Kurt Angle up to around that 61 mark to begin with. Maybe even higher, I don't know. But also, it'll just be an easy way to start him off. We don't have to sacrifice any of our other guys at the moment, and Kurt Angle can get a good starting point, a good starting feud, gain him a little bit of popularity, maybe even improve his mic skills a little bit, working with Jerry, and just start off well. And then beat Jerry Lawler. He becomes, a bit of a credible name. He's got a big win under his belt already, and then we can move him on to somebody else. I was originally going to do Marc Mero and Kurt Angle. I felt Marc Mero as, that shitty, annoying heel that he kind of is. I felt as though he'd be a good matchup for Kurt. In ring-wise, probably not. But I figured we've got Jerry Lawler. He's got all this popularity to give. We may as well use it on someone like Kurt Angle. So that's the plan there. Some of the other storylines we've got going on as well. Obviously, we're going to continue the European one. The lightweight one we may change into something different. So a breakdown, obviously the big match is going to be Steve Austin and Mike Tyson. And I didn't even think about it, but someone said, hey, why don't you do Mankind and Undertaker for the championship? It makes sense. Mankind's been feuding with Undertaker before SummerSlam. And I figured, hey, that's a great idea. Mankind and Taker for the championship. Mankind can kind of return after his Hell in a Cell beating. So, bit of redemption there for Mankind. Have him take on Taker. Maybe the Ministry interferes to help Taker win. I'm thinking with Austin and Tyson, I might make Shane McMahon the special guest referee as a way to incorporate him into it and maybe try and screw Austin over. But also, what I was thinking as well, after Breakdown. For Judgment Day, which is the pay-per-view after Breakdown, I'm thinking maybe Mankind and Steve Austin team up to take on the Brothers of Destruction as our big match there, because that'll get us through that month. And then we've got Survivor Series, so we probably don't have to waste a title match on that pay-per-view. I feel like a big tag match might work just as good. So that's something I'm thinking about there as well. The Outlaws and Chains of Vader, still got another match we could do there. Easy. Maybe even give the belts back to the Outlaws. Owen, Hart, Ken, Shamrock. We had Kane in there. We'll take Kane out, and we'll make that more about Owen and Shamrock. South of Justice Headbangers, a lower card feud. We'll keep it going for a little bit longer. The Rock, Triple H, we need to redeem ourselves there. New feud we're going to start will be Val Venus and The Godfather. We've really got to start working Val Venus. We've got Mark Henry doing really, really well. Very happy with his progression, but Val Venus is starting to lag behind. We've got to get him some wins. So having a feud with The Godfather might be something we can just extract a little bit of popularity out of him, get him a big match on the pay-per-view anyways, and get him doing something. And then the Women's Championship Return storyline, that's just all our women there, and we'll keep that one going along for a while. It's got 61 storyline heat, which is not bad. We'll try and capitalize on that as much as we can. And that's where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're currently working our way up in the popularity. You can see we're starting to gain that popularity. We're a national size. We're going to get 71% importance in 8 areas of America and cult size in 3 other game areas. So I tell you what, we're not that far away from getting up there to international size as well. So looking forward to that. And all's well. We're doing pretty well so far. So let's hope we can keep that momentum going. Okay, Raw as well. Let's take a look at the results. Pre-show match, Aja Kong and Bull Nakano teamed up to take on Mariko, Ishida, and Ivory. Wanted to see if Nakano and Kong had any chemistry together as a tag team. They don't have chemistry, but they don't have bad chemistry. So Nakano 45, Aja Kong 59. Excellent. Ivory 40 and Ishida 38. So obviously Aja Kong, great choice to have the title on her because she's amazing. Gangrel had his first match in the main roster. He took on Buddy Landell. Gangrel 33, Landell, who cares, 27. But yeah, Gangrel doesn't got any pops, so 33, not the worst performance. So we'll get more of a gauge on him in the future, but not a bad start. We opened up Raw with Vince McMahon and Mike Tyson, of course, his right-hand man, there with Kane and The Undertaker. McMahon was celebrating with Undertaker, how great it is to have a real champion. He's so happy the Undertaker's a champion. But all of a sudden, Undertaker breaks it off with Vince. He says, "Hey, Vince, thanks for getting me the world title, but you and me, we're done." And they walk away. So Kane and Taker walks away from Vince. So that kind of just sets up the fact that Kane and Taker, they're a full-fledged alliance now. Also, it alienates Taker and Kane away from Vince. They were aligned together for a while, so we get those 2 different entities split up. Potentially, it's a bit of a teaser for something for the future for Kane and Taker with the Ministry of Darkness, and obviously Vince now needs to get a new plan. He needs a new star. He's scrambling again. Oh shit, who's going to be my guy? He's got Tyson, but he knows Tyson's not going to get in the ring. He needs to start making some new moves. So that kind of makes Vince step away and try something different. Toyota took on Luna Vachon, Toyota 42. That's very good considering her popularity. I think Toyota will probably be the biggest babyface in our save. She, I've heard so many great things about her, and I feel like she'll be amazing for us. Luna 48, that's good for her. That's actually very good for her. She picks up the win after cheating a little bit. Mark Henry and Jim Cornette promo. Mark Henry just won the European Championship, so he's cutting a bit of a feud there on Goldust. Mark Henry was a real star in this segment. Have we ever seen that before? Normally, Mark Henry's the drizzling shits in this segment. This time, he's a real star, so thank God for that. Henry is getting over. That time. Acolytes, they defeated the Headbangers quickly. Farouk and Bradshaw showed excellent chemistry teaming together. Thank God for that. Farouk 68, Bradshaw 65. 52 and 50 for the Headbangers. 67 match. Good. Kurt Angle debuted. Only average for his gimmick. At least it's not anything lower than that. Hopefully he'll improve on it. But he debuts with Jerry Lawler introducing Kurt Angle to the crowd. Lawler ends up bad-mouthing Kurt Angle, kind of brags that, hey, you might be a gold medalist, but I'm a former world champion. I bet I could beat you any day of the week. You know, and Kurt Angle takes offense to that, ends up suplexing Lawler. The crown flies off Jerry Lawler's head. Jerry Lawler's down. He's stunned. He can't believe what just happened. And Kurt Angle introduces himself to the world. And we start that feud, Jerry Lawler and Kurt Angle. The Godfather took on Val Venus. I feel like I actually made a mistake there that I didn't have the promo beforehand, but that's okay. So Val Venus ended up beating the Godfather after interference. Godfather 58, Val Venus 60. Both guys were really good, actually. Both guys good. Yeah, this segment here was meant to be beforehand. I wasn't really paying attention at the time. I did mess that one up. But what it was meant to be was the Godfather offering Val Venus one of his ladies in exchange for the win. Val was going to refuse and say that Sunny was better than any woman that he had. But, you know, you could probably turn that into a similar thing. You know, that Val Venus says that Sunny's better than any of the Godfather's girls. So we'll switch that into that one there. And Godfather's getting better at his gimmick, so that's really positive. 74 segment there. So what we're trying to do with this, both Val and Godfather, very similar in a way. You know, Val the porn star gimmick, Godfather, you know, obviously a ladies' man himself with be the pimp. So they can kind of intertwine well. So I think it's always a natural feud there. And we're going to get this one going for a while. And hopefully both guys get a bit of popularity out of it. Not just Val. I would like for the Godfather to get pretty popular too. Main event was the number 1 contenders match for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Mankind and Ken Shamrock. Very good match. Mankind 90, even though he was off his game. Shamrock 89. So very, very good. Little cap for the short match length, but that's okay. Did we even have a storyline involved there? Oh, we had Owen Hart interfere. Yeah, there we go. So we definitely did. So very, very good. Owen Hart ended up interfering, costing Shamrock the match. Mankind becomes the number 1 contender. Then he cut a promo on The Undertaker at the end of the show. So we're going to pick back up there with The Undertaker and Mankind and that feud. That'll be for the world title coming up at the next pay-per-view, I'd say. And then Austin can do Mike Tyson. So we've got an opponent for Taker in the meantime. So very good. 90 rated show overall. That's a good start for today's stream. So this is Sunday Night Heat. Let's take a look. So the pre-show, we had Mike Awesome, who performed at 48, Scott Taylor 38. So I was actually thinking about putting Mike Awesome back down developmental, but he did really well. Is it because the match length wasn't that long? He did lose though. So we want to give him a new gimmick. We gave him a badass. Apparently it flopped badly. So hopefully the arch competitor gimmick will work better. Average. Okay, so maybe Mike Awesome might be a little more valuable now. Goldust took on Savio for 66. Goldust 70. Savio 52. Savio off his game a little bit. Yeah, it did certainly seem to be that case. And Jim Cornette on commentary. 66 to start. Kurt Angle's promo was 71 on Jerry Lawler. That's pretty good from Kurt. He's got like 70-ish mic skills. Not bad. You probably could think that'd be a little bit better of a promo. That's okay. Lacking a bit of popularity probably. Hardy Boys took on Kind Tai. Good match. Jeff Hardy, 69. Wow. Wow. Matt Hardy, 58. Well, I tell you what, the Hardy Boys, they're not far off being tag team champion material with that type of performance. 69? Menseo and Dick Togo, they were good too. Very good. Kaz and Kimona, well, I thought this promo would be dog shit, but ended up being alright. I'd say because of Kimona's sex appeal, probably, but ended up being okay. 57. Owen Hart's promo, much better. 87 for that one on Ken Shamrock. Main event was the tag titles in the line. Chains and Vader defended it against the British Brawlers, 75 rated. Vader, 86. Chains, 59. Regal, 65. Finlay, 62. I love the British Brawlers. Unfortunately, at the moment, they're just a team that isn't in the plans, I guess. They're not quite the number 1 team, and we don't have a lot of babyface tag teams that the Brawlers can really feud with and beat. So that's where we're lacking a little bit, but 75 nonetheless, and gives us a 71 rated show. Not enough women on the show! This is Raw as War. Let's take a look. So we wrap things up with The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, the guys involved, the Intercontinental Championship feud. 99 rated segment. The Rock and Shawn Michaels both look pretty good. Triple H struggled a little bit. That's okay. So, the story is, The Rock will get a rematch. Triple H will get a rematch against The Rock. Probably have The Rock win. And then we might move on to Shawn Michaels versus The Rock afterwards. Headbangers took on Southern Justice to finish things up. 51 for the Headbangers, Southern Justice 48 and 44. 55 overall, and that will close out that feud. So we get the Headbangers a win. Hopefully, I don't think it will, but just to maybe move them along a little bit. Kaz took on Aguilar, 57. Kaz, 57. Aguilar, 47 himself, so very good. A few people saying that Aguilar should maybe head back down to developmental for a little bit. I might agree with that, and we might make that change. Kane and The Undertaker cut a promo on Mankind. And that's all pluses, no negatives there. So basically we're teasing maybe the Ministry of Darkness or some kind of change, a major change is coming, and Mankind will be the victim of it. So we might even have like the Ministry sacrifice or do whatever that weird shit they would do to people. Who'd they do that to? Was it Ken Shamrock? It might have been. I know they did it to Ryan Shamrock, or tried to. Put him on the cross, the symbol, not the cross, the symbol. Do that shit. Okay, so this matchup, Kurt Angle versus Kenta Kobashi, 76 rated. So this is Kurt Angle's debut match. 70 rated for Kurt, and 56 rated for Kenta. We made it steal the show, and it didn't help out Kenta too much. Well, it did and it didn't. It did and it didn't. Both guys got a bit of a bonus out of it. But, yeah, good start. Jerry Lawler in commentary to, of course, advance the Angle and Lawler feud. So 76. So, they probably might have got maybe 65. Who knows? Without the steal the show quality on it. So 76 in the end. So worked out pretty well. I feel like we were going to do a technical masterclass. I feel like that could have been better. Maybe I'll bring Kobashi back in and we'll do a technical masterclass in the future. But that was a good match, 76. Now that's probably how we're going to get Kurt Angle over, by doing that type of stuff. Ivory picked up a roll-up victory over Bull Nakano. Bull 45, Ivory 41. So definitely Bull, someone we've got to push. Very good, 46 match. Val Venus and Sunny promo on The Godfather, 76. Very good. And then we had the main event, which wasn't as good as you would have hoped. Triple H 90, and Vader 78. So short match length was probably the issue there, and stamina a little bit for Vader. So we did make it a wild brawl. Maybe we could have gone without the wild brawl and made it more of a 15-16 minute match, but that's what we did. 80 rated in the end for an 82 show. So a little bit down on last week, but that's okay. Happy with that. Let's take a look at the results. This will be interesting. We've got 51 rated for the Headbangers and Kaintai. Good. We have things up with Kurt Angle and Takada. They had a technical matchup. 17-minute match. Takada 78, Kurt Angle 64. And who's rusty? Ooh, you're not getting any work. No one wants the guy, so he's a bit rusty. That's not my fault. But in the end, Kurt Angle got a bit of a boost up. 75 match. 53 promo from Kaz and Taka Michinoku. Aja Kong and Yoshida, 64. Aja 71 and Yoshida 51. 88 for the hype video between Mankind and Undertaker. Main event, Steve Austin and Kenta Kobashi. We're trying our best to make this good. This will be Kenta's last match for us, potentially for a while. So let's take a look. 88. We'll take that. 91 from Austin. Kobashi, 86. We had Vince McMahon commentary to advance the segment. Kenta couldn't quite do the pressure of going all out. A little bit capped because of the match length. But in the end, 88 for a match over in Japan is fantastic. Well, that'll be the best heat you'll see in a while. 81. Very good. Open things up. Steve Austin challenged Mike Tyson to a match. Vince McMahon said, no. Tyson's not doing it. Tyson shoves Vince McMahon aside and says, yes, I am doing it, Vince. And it's on. Tyson and Austin for the pay-per-view. Official. Kazuyashi defeated Scorpio for 57, Kaz 53, Scorpio 45. So Kaz is really going well. I'm happy with where he's at. We had a vignette for the Brood, Christian Edge and Gangrel, hyping them up that they'll be coming very soon. Kurt Angle took on Val Venus. It was a 72 rated match. We had Val 58, Kurt 68. Damn, Kurt's good. Val Venus penalized for stamina, even though he had 82 stamina, so that's interesting. But I don't think the penalty would have been too harsh on him. 72, very happy with that. Very, very good. So that will advance the Godfather and Val Venus storyline because the Godfather distracted Val Venus to help Angle win. And of course, the Angle and Jerry Lawler storyline. Speaking of Angle and Jerry Lawler, after the match, Jerry Lawler whacked Kurt Angle with his crown in the head from behind. Kurt Angle went down. Jerry Lawler escaped away, got out of there. So 82 for that one. Hardy Boys, wow, what a match with the New Age Outlaws. 57 from Matt, 65 from Jeff, Road Dogg 74, Billy Gunn 70, 78 rated match. Can you believe it? Yeah, so that will advance the New Age Outlaws and Chains of Vader storyline because we, sneakily put them in that one. And yeah, both teams had excellent chemistry. So that's definitely a big feud for the future. And I knew that. I didn't really want to waste this match, but I don't think we're going to be doing this match in the next coming months. We could. I think we'd do the Hardys and the British Brawlers first, but definitely an option down the line. The Rock promo on Triple H 93. Thank God that'll help the storyline heat. And the main event. Oh no, it's not the main event yet. I was like, holy crap, 45 for the main event. Not yet. We've still got Mark Henry and Barry Windham. 2-minute squash match for Henry. Picks up the dub. That's the main event. Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, 85. I was expecting 80, so that's much better than I thought. Owen, 87. Jeff Jarrett, 77. Shamrock on commentary, watching it all, 85. Advances to Shamrock and Hart storyline. So they did go all out. We did make it a steal the show match. And I feel like it did probably better. I think for at least Jeff Jarrett, I think he performed better. Maybe it hurt Owen Hart a little bit. I don't know, but you can't be too disappointed in that. 85 is very good, especially for two guys that aren't your two biggest names. Owen Hart, our low tier main eventer, Jeff Jarrett, an upper mid carder. You get an 85, you'd be happy. 86 show, you always take that. If you are watching the YouTube, thank you very much for coming out and watching the video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like on it and subscribe to see more Attitude Era coming your way soon.